Okay, right. So today's training is a combination of things. It's going to be a bit of Excel, a lot of Word, and eventually a little bit of Outlook. However, as always, if you've got questions about anything, just ask. If anything that I'm doing triggers something that you think, oh, I've been trying to do something similar to that, just let me know and we can go through that. And of course, if you've got any suggestions for any other days or any particular procedures or routines that you'd like covered, then just let me know. Good morning, John, again. I'll get started then. So the thing we're going to cover today now is doing an email merge. Okay, so it's basically a mail merge, which is taking a database of names and a standard letter and creating individual unique letters for all the people in the database. But an email merge is going that one step further, and rather than sending out letters to people, sending out emails, of course. Now, the obvious thought is, this is going to be used for producing spam and annoying things and emails that are going to get deleted straight away, which of course is one of the things that people do with it. However, that's not our intention. It could just be that you want to tell people something specific about their contract or their account or products that they buy or something like that. So it's not about saying, oh, I'm just going to bombard loads of people with spam. It could be about saying, oh, you're one of the people this month that's renewing. Did you want to renew your contract? Or you could be saying, these are the products you bought in the past. Maybe you're interested in buying similar ones. Or did you know we also offer this service and we're visiting your area? That kind of stuff. So it could be about marketing, or it could just be a way of saving you having to go through and send out loads of individual emails. And the only problem with muting all the microphones is it really feels like I'm on my own. So anyone wants to have any input, just say. Okay, right. The mail merge process has got sort of three parts to it, really. The first part is the database. Now, the database can be held in pretty much any common form of database. So it could be Microsoft Access. It could be in a spreadsheet, Microsoft Excel. It could be an SQL database, any sort of big grown-up database, maybe a mainframe system or something. But for the sake of simplicity, today's database is going to be in Excel, which is what I'm hoping you've currently got on the screen. And I shall now reveal my database, which I lovingly spent seconds creating. This is basically going to be a really simple mail merge that looks at these individual entries and sends a letter out saying, oh, you've bought a TV set and the warranty's got to expire on this date and it will cost this much. So that's the general gist of it. You can use mail merges for all sorts of things. It doesn't have to be marketing. You could use a mail merge to just produce something like a catalogue. If you was actually producing a catalogue in Word, and you'd have products listed, prices, weights, detailed descriptions, and then you create the structure in Word and use a database to create a catalogue. But like I say, most of the time it tends to be marketing. Now here, what I've done is I've put enough detail. Thanks. Just saw a comment come up. I just saw enough detail. I just created enough detail to do a basic mail merge. But obvious things like name, otherwise I can't say dear sir, that'd be daft. But one of the things I've got to include there, as you'll notice, is an email address. And because I'm doing this for real and for live, I've put the JJ Systems the marketing email address. Well, we like to provide to people that like to send us marketing. Clearly, when you do this for real, you'd need to put real email addresses there, otherwise it would just be silly. However, there's my spreadsheet and it contains a data set. Not very exciting, but we need that to get started. So what I'm going to do now is jump over to Word, where I have my standard letter. And this is going to be highly complicated because I need it all to still work properly. So I'm just going to do some bits. And hopefully you've now got a Word document on the screen? Yeah, someone nod. Good. Thank you, Howard. Always appreciate the input. What I've got here, like I say, this is not exactly an awesome creation, but it's a basic letter. And I put some X's in where I want to put the fields in. So we got, dear, Fred Blogs, thank you for your recent purchase. Forgot to mute the telephone. That's the button I need. Right, do not disturb. I know there's something I normally do before this. Let's press it again like I mean it. There we go. Okay, so dear Fred Blogs, you recently bought a telly, your 1 year warranty runs out a year after purchase date, blah, blah, blah. You get the general idea. Obviously, it can be a lengthy letter, a short letter, a contract, or just a one word. No, there wouldn't be anything. A one sentence memo. But I need to turn this document, and it's just a standard Word document, I need to turn it now into a mail merge. So we do that from the Mailings tab. If I click on Mailings, I click on it, there we go, got it eventually. We've got the mail merge section here. Now it's pretty straightforward. It's one of these things that Microsoft have changed again and again and again through all the different revisions of Word. And it's now at the simplest stage it can be, I think. It's still sort of a bit lumpy sometimes, not because there's anything wrong with it, but just because majority of people that use this don't use it on a frequent basis, and they forget that there's a lot of steps involved. And so there are sometimes a lot of steps involved. The first thing is to say, right, I'm starting a mail merge, and then we need to decide what we're doing. The old way of doing it would be to just say I'm sending out 200 letters saying, I don't know, Merry Christmas or whatever. But of course today we're doing email messages. Now you'll see there are other things on there like envelopes. Is it a good way of doing envelopes? Yeah, envelopes and labels, it works quite well if you're getting addresses out of a database. Or directory, again, that comes back to the catalogue thing. So you could produce a 100-page document, and each page being for each product, or even, several products on a page. Anyway, stop waffling now. Email messages, that's the first thing. Click on that, boom. Instantly my document changes because when you're creating emails from within Word, it changes the format so that they're in a more suitable format. So that's the first thing, start the merge. Second thing is selecting recipients. Now this is the bit that kind of gets a bit complicated because this is where we connect our database to our merge document. Now there's three things we can use here. We can create a brand new list, and that basically allows you to type up a new list in an Excel format. Which would be a very dull thing to watch. So I'm not going to go for that one, which is why I created it already. Middle one, the most common one, use an existing list, and that, like I say, this can be pretty much any kind of database format. And the final thing is you can do it from your Outlook contacts. This contact section in Outlook is a lot more powerful than most people give it credit. You can turn it into a fully fledged CRM. But having said that, it's still quite painful to work with if you were to do that. I'm going for the existing list. I click on this, I put the list on my desktop and it's open in the background. Not that makes it any easier, but here's all the data sources that I could be using, but I'm not. I'm just going to go straight to the desktop and straight to one called contact info. And then if I click on open, I've now opened that document that's already open in the background, but it's saved, so it doesn't matter that it's open. So here it says sheet 1, blah, 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 first list contains headers. Oh yeah, it did, funny that helps. Now if I click on OK, I have a connection. It's now connected my data set to my primary document. So the next thing to do here is to tell it which entries I want to use. Now this is a database of, I don't know, 200 potential clients. I'd want to go through there and maybe pick out all the ones that have shown an interest in my new widget device. Or if I was talking about visiting customers because I was going to a certain area, then I'd maybe want to filter the list by the people that were in that area. In this instance, I don't want to filter it at all. I'm just going to send it out to all of them, so it doesn't matter. But here's my list of entries, of which there isn't a huge amount. But I could go through and just say, oh, actually, I don't want to send that one to Jill, and then untick her entry. But I do want to send it to everybody. Like I said, if I wanted to filter it, there isn't much here I can filter by. But if I had something like region or product type, I could click on the filter and then sort of exclude different things. But that's the third step done, editing the recipient list, which is fine because I want all of them. So I'm just going to click on OK. So got my document, got my recipients, confirmed which recipients I want. Now what I need to do is change this document, this standard Word document, into a mail merge primary document. In other words, I want to replace where I put XXX with the relevant fields. So in the interest of being able to see this, I'm going to put on my old person's glasses. Yeah, excellent. So if I replace the dear with a field, so over here we've got merge fields, and if I click on the drop down, there's the merge fields. I must say this is a massive step forward in the way that they did it in previous versions, because this is just simple and straightforward, and it's the way it should be. I'm not interested in putting the full name. I don't want to say Dear John Smith. I'm going to put the short name. So, Dear short name, you recently bought a, and then if I delete that and replace that with the product, product, I would like to let you know that you're blah, blah, blah. I mean, this document, I'm no master in marketing, so you appreciate the wording is pretty poor. Then we've got to put another field in there, the renewal date. It's not really the renewal date, it's the purchase date, but hey, I didn't put a lot of effort into it. And there's a price. Let's have a look. Warranty price. I think that's everything I need. Yeah, no more X's. Everything I need is in there. Good. There's a few things to consider, particularly when you're using Excel as your data source. The formats don't come over. So, for example, I can format the column of prices as prices, but it won't put the pound sign in, and so I need to do that in Word. Equally, dates. We'll talk about dates later. It's, don't get me talking about dates. However, the date formats don't come over. So I'll sort that in a minute. But there is my primary document, and if I was feeling like I wanted to do lots of these in the future and just make a few tweaks, now would be the time to save it so that I can use this again and again. But what I can do now is pretty much crack on and merge it. There's a section here to preview the results. So if you've got no sense of daring, then you can just hit the preview results button and then look at the mistakes that you've made. I mean, look at the things that don't look right. And so everything there kind of seems fine. The date format's horrible, but I can use the button next to preview results to click backwards and forwards to look at the different entries, and they all look fairly realistic, except for that horrible date format. And now it's pretty much ready to go. You know, I can unpreview the results so that I don't have to look at that date format. Okay, so I've done the 4 steps so far. I've started the mail merge, chosen the recipients, decided which ones I want. I've inserted fields where there should be details, and previewed the results. Now the final thing is to actually do the merge, which preview results is the 5th step, but that's not important. I'm now going to merge it for real because I don't really care about how it looks right now, because it's going to go out as a out to a spam file. And the way we do this is we get to the final stage. There's 3 bits to it. Now, again, all 3 of these bits have valid uses in the world of mail merging. The last one is the one that we want, which I'll come to last. The first 2 are what you'd use if you were producing letters. Now there's the pragmatic option and the daring one. edit individual documents, which really doesn't describe what it does at all. What that does, it generates a final document, which could have 100 pages, with one page or one set of pages for each entry. So if you were doing a physical mail merge and you're sending it out to hundreds of people, that's a great option to do, because then you can just double check it, and then you can print the first 10 pages if you don't want to do it all in one go, or you can print the first 100 or whatever. And if page 57 screws up, you can reprint it from there. So that's a good option when you're doing the physical printing. The second option, again, if you're doing physical printing, is a daring one, where you don't get to see the finished result until it comes out of the printer. You just print it and you're off. And that's fine, but personally I'd prefer to do the first one if I'm doing a physical mail merge. However, we don't care about that. It's the last one that's the exciting one. We're going to do some spam. We're going to do some emails. Now, if I click on this, it comes up with a final screen. It's bloody old man glasses. Right. So here, there's only 3 questions to answer, really. The first one is, who are we sending it to? And there, if I click on the drop down, it's cleverly used, a little bit of intelligence, and picked up the word email. Clever that, but that's all the fields. And so if that said client email, client personal email, company email, or something like that, then I could choose the relevant one. In this case, yeah, that's correct, email. The mail format at the bottom is pretty straightforward as well. You can do it as an attachment, which would work if you were sending out certificates or something, or I don't know, contracts or something, and he was also sending a document to explain it. That's not really what we're looking at today. Plain text is good if you just want to make sure that it doesn't look quite like it's spam, maybe. But these days, HTML is probably a more interesting thing to do. At least it will look pretty, or potentially it can look pretty, and it means you can format the document. So those are 2 technical decisions: who you're sending it to and what format you're sending it in. The middle one is just a subject line, and I need to put something meaningful in there, like let's say your recent purchase. No, your purchase, because that looks genuine. And then when I click on OK, who knows what happened? Oh, he's thinking about it. Yeah, I think it worked. Hurrah. Oh yeah, now these are the emails coming in because it's the same account that I sent them from, so I'm going to get loads of emails pop up in the corner. I don't know why I'm saying that, because you can't see that anyway, because I'm not going to focus on that screen. But that's what the noise was. Oh, it worked, because there you go, they're all going to come through now. You can hear it though, I assume. Thank you for your recent purchase. Yeah, okay, I can stop now. So that's all there is to it. Step 1, you have a database, fine tune it, make it look as nice as you can, make it be as valid as you can, and then you move to the mail merge in Word. Step 1, start the merge. 2, select the recipients. 3, edit them. 4th step is to insert the merge fields, and then the 5th and final step is to actually do the merge. Now, there is one thing that I do need to tell you about, which is mildly technical. Now, what I'm going to do is save one of these emails as a Word document, and then open it in Word so that I don't have to mess about with the screens, and then you can see what they look like. So let's choose that one. Your recent purchase. Right, file, save as. Stick it on the desktop because it's not important and I don't care if it gets lost. And then save it as a Word document. Ah, that's an HTML file. That won't work. Okay. Now in Word, if I endeavour to open that file, hey, that worked. So that's what the email looks like when it turns up. to, from. It's got the subject line I put in there, the details and stuff. And everything about that's all fabulous. No, that's quite good, actually. Except the date. Now, this is one of these things that drives people bats. This is the one that is worth it's worth Alex and John listening out for, because it's bound to be one of those things that if anybody does this, they'll ask questions about. For some bizarre reason, formatting the date in Word is just really tedious on a mail merge. So you have to do these steps. Let me just get rid of this document and back to this document. So to change this renewal date to a decent format, what I need to do is click on it, press Shift and F9, which reveals the merge field code. I then put the correct code in, which is something like slash at, and then in speech marks, day in lowercase, MMM in uppercase for the month in full. That would say like Jan. Do I want Jan? Or do I want January? Let's say January. I'm going to do Jan. And then years, 1, 2, 3, 4, should do it. Put that in speech marks, press space. I'll put that in the wrong bit actually. That needs to be after renewal date. That would have been easy. Right, Control X. Just after renewal date. Control V. Right. So that should now, if I preview it, yeah, there we go. It's got a nice date format. So it's not instantly obvious how it works, but all you do is you click on the field, press Shift F9, it reveals merge field, and then this bit has to be typed in after the field name, /@ and then the date format that you want in speech marks. So if you ever do intend to do a mail merge with a date in it, it's worth making a note of that and typing it up somewhere, or just making a note that you should phone the support desk because you can't remember how to do it. And that's how you do a mail merge. So good. Okay, right. Now, does anybody have any questions about it? Nobody. No, good. We've all seen enough of mail merging now. Yeah, excellent. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about anything else, or anything else that they can think of this morning they'd like to see? Go on. You know, do. Oh, there we go. That's what. Okay. Michelle.
Hello, Glyn. If we're sending out a catalogue or like something new about our product, so we want to sort of present it, so you've merged the email to come across as like the cover letter. How would you do it to basically have that drop in as an email and then have the brochure set in as an attachment? Because that's like effectively 2 documents, isn't it, really, together? You wanted to do it like that?
That is. That's a really good question. And not only is it a good question, it's one that, had I prepared properly, I'd know the answer to. But let me just have a look at my primary document. In theory, if I wanted to add anything to this document to be mail merged, I would just add it to it as a Word document. I don't know how that would count with file attachments, so I'm going to endeavour to embed something. I'm going to embed.
And if you want to have a think about it, because I know when I asked the question about the tick, you went and sort of slept on it and then let me know that you'd actually come up with another solution for the following day. If you want to do that, then by all means you can.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, but you know I'm going to attend every day. I'm really enjoying your sessions. So as I say, if you want to drop it in tomorrow, that's fine.
Yeah, that's good. I was just padding for time till someone else asked a question anyway. But yeah, I'm going to find out and tell you tomorrow if you like it or not. But I kind of, part of me thinks that it'll either just won't work or you'll be able to just put it into the document. But I'll know that by midday. Okay, and I can tell you tomorrow. But Good. That is an interesting one though, because it might be quite challenging to achieve. So good. Is anything anyone else would like to ask? Go on. There must be something. Okay. It can be on any of the tools on the computer. So we have got a few minutes yet. Well, I say we've got a few minutes. I've no idea what the time is because it's covered by conferencing software. But tomorrow, I think we're doing pivot tables tomorrow. We're doing pivot tables. I think that was the request. Yeah, Wednesday. It's pivot table Wednesday tomorrow. So, so if you've got any pivot table questions, feel free to line them up, and that will make for an interesting Wednesday. Make for an interesting choice of torture. And then we're going to do some PowerPoint on Thursday, and we'll sort of take it from there. And so, so yeah, I think that's probably that'll be enough for today. Then you can. Oh, that's quite a brief one. So you're welcome to return to your days now. But thanks for coming along. If you do think of anything, then feel free to email me or just mention it tomorrow. And yeah, I shall see you tomorrow, hopefully. Thanks for coming over.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Cheers. Bye.